The gift of compassionate instincts. In the realm of human experiences, one of the most profound and enriching qualities a person can possess is the instinct of compassion. Compassion, in its essence, is not merely an emotional response but a deep-seated instinct that guides us in interacting with the world in a meaningful and caring manner. To understand the value of this instinct, we need to explore its nature, its implications, and how it can transform both our lives and the lives of those around us. Compassion as an instinct means it comes from a place deep within us, unbidden and natural. It is not something we force or pretend, but a genuine reaction to the suffering or needs of others. This instinctual compassion is a gift because not everyone experiences or reacts to the world in this way. It provides a unique lens through which we view our relationships and our environment. Why do we call it a gift? Because through compassion, we connect. We bridge gaps between ourselves and others, not just in the physical sense, but in the emotional and spiritual realms as well. When you feel compassion, you feel what another person is feeling. You share in their joys and their sorrows. This sharing creates a bond, a deep understanding that transcends ordinary relationships. However, having this instinct is not always easy. It comes with its own set of challenges. For instance, feeling the weight of another's pain can be overwhelming. It demands resilience and strength to not only feel these emotions, but also to act on them in a way that is helpful and healing. It requires us to step outside of our own needs and desires to attend to those of others. This stepping outside of oneself is not a loss, but a profound gain, a way to experience the world in all its complexity and beauty. Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons. But let's delve deeper. Consider the impact of compassion on our own lives. It enriches us, provides us with a sense of purpose and connection. It can transform mundane interactions into moments of deep significance. Have you ever noticed how a simple act of kindness can change your entire day? How helping someone in a small way can bring an unexpected joy into your life? This is the power of the compassion instinct. It not only helps others, it transforms us. It opens doors to new ways of being and seeing. It cultivates patience, understanding, and a deep, abiding peace that comes from knowing you have acted in accordance with the deepest truths of your being. Now let us shift our focus outward and consider the broader implications of this instinct. In a world rife with conflict and misunderstanding, compassion offers a path to peace. It allows us to see the humanity in others, even those we might consider our enemies. It teaches us that beneath the surface differences that divide us, there are common needs and desires that unite us. Imagine a world where this instinct is not rare but common. What would such a world look like? How would it change the way we govern our societies, the way we handle conflict, the way we treat the least among us? This brings us to a crucial question. If compassion is so beneficial, why is it not more widespread? What blocks us from being more compassionate? Often, it is fear of vulnerability, fear of being taken advantage of, fear of opening up to the pain of others. Overcoming this fear is not easy, but it is essential if we are to fully embrace the gift of our compassionate instincts. Let us consider practical ways to cultivate this instinct. It begins with awareness, being mindful of our reactions to others, noticing moments when we could be more compassionate but choose not to be. It involves setting an intention each day to act from a place of compassion, to make it a guiding principle in our interactions. Furthermore, we can nurture our compassion through meditation, through reflective practices that help us connect with our feelings and the feelings of others. We can seek out stories, art, and experiences that open our hearts and remind us of the common humanity we share. Navigating the challenges of compassion. In this next part of our exploration into the instinct of compassion, we delve into the complexities and challenges that often accompany this profound gift. Understanding these challenges is crucial, as it allows us to navigate them more effectively, ensuring that our compassionate instincts lead to positive outcomes both for ourselves and for those around us. One of the primary challenges of possessing a strong instinct of compassion is emotional fatigue, or compassion fatigue. This occurs when we are so frequently engaged in emotional labor, taking on the suffering and burdens of others, that we begin to feel overwhelmed, exhausted, and even burnt out. It's crucial to recognize that while compassion is a virtue, it requires energy, and like any resource, this energy can be depleted. To manage this, we must learn to balance our compassion with self-care. This doesn't mean caring less. Rather, it involves caring smartly. It is essential to develop practices that replenish our emotional reserves. This might include setting boundaries, knowing when to step back, and allowing time for rest and recuperation. For instance, healthcare professionals often work in environments that can rapidly drain their emotional resources. Learning to recognize personal limits and taking timely breaks can help sustain their compassion over the long term. Another significant challenge is dealing with the frustration that can arise when our compassionate efforts don't yield the results we hope for. Sometimes, despite our best intentions and efforts, we cannot alleviate the suffering of others. This can lead to feelings of helplessness or despair. In these moments, it's important to remind ourselves that the act of showing compassion is, in itself, inherently valuable. Our efforts may not always change the situation, but they can change how someone feels about their situation, which is profoundly important. Moreover, there is the challenge of selective compassion, where we find ourselves feeling compassionate towards some but not others. This selective tendency can be influenced by our biases, our upbringing, or our personal experiences. To cultivate a more universal compassion, we must challenge these biases and strive to extend our compassion to all beings, not just those we immediately relate to or feel sympathy towards. To expand our circle of compassion, we can engage with diverse groups and learn about cultures, experiences, and perspectives different from our own. This exposure can diminish the us versus them mentality and foster a more inclusive form of compassion. Additionally, in the process of practicing compassion, one might face opposition or misunderstanding from others who view such instincts as weaknesses or as impractical idealism. In these situations, it's helpful to remain steadfast in our values, using gentle persuasion and leading by example to demonstrate the strength and practical benefits of compassion. Now, let's consider a profoundly significant aspect of compassionate action: its ripple effect. When you act compassionately, you not only assist the immediate recipient of your compassion, but you also set a precedent. Others observe your actions, and this can inspire them to act similarly. Think about it. How often have you been moved to act kindly because you witnessed someone else doing so? This ripple effect can amplify the impact of a single act of compassion exponentially. Incorporating regular reflective practices can also aid us in overcoming these challenges. By reflecting on our actions and their outcomes, we can maintain a clear perspective and continue to refine our approach to being compassionate. Reflection helps us understand when our actions are truly helpful and when they might need adjustment. In conclusion, while the path of compassion involves its challenges, navigating these wisely enhances our ability to sustain and spread this valuable instinct. As we move forward, let's keep in mind that each challenge also presents an opportunity for growth and deepening of our compassion. The transformative power of compassion in relationships. As we continue our exploration of the instinct of compassion, let us turn our attention to the transformative impact this profound quality can have on relationships. Compassion, when genuinely and consistently practiced, not only nurtures but fundamentally changes the dynamics of our interactions and connections with others. In the context of personal relationships, compassion acts as a powerful catalyst for emotional intimacy and trust. When you show true compassion to a friend, a family member, or a partner, you are communicating that their well-being is important to you. You are willing to listen deeply, understand their feelings, and respond to their needs. This kind of empathy and understanding fosters a deep sense of security and trust, elements that are essential for strong, lasting relationships. Consider how compassion changes the way we handle conflicts. In any relationship, disagreements and conflicts are inevitable. However, when approached with a compassionate mindset, the focus shifts from winning an argument to understanding the other person's perspective and finding a solution that respects both parties' needs. This approach not only resolves conflicts more effectively but also strengthens the relationship, preventing the buildup of resentment and misunderstanding. Moreover, compassion encourages us to be less judgmental. Often, we judge others based on our own experiences and expectations. By practicing compassion, we learn to set aside these judgments and accept others as they are. This acceptance opens the door to genuine connections and can transform superficial relationships into profound ones. In addition to enhancing personal relationships, compassion can radically alter professional environments. In workplaces where leaders and colleagues practice compassion, there is typically higher job satisfaction, better collaboration, and lower employee turnover. Employees feel valued and understood, which boosts their motivation and commitment to their roles. Compassion in leadership involves being attuned to the stresses and struggles of employees, encouraging an environment where everyone feels supported and valued. But how does one cultivate compassion in relationships? It starts with active listening. When you listen actively, you are not just hearing words, but trying to understand the complete message being communicated. This means paying attention not only to what is said, but how it is said and what is not said. Such listening requires patience, openness, and the willingness to be present in the moment. Another key aspect is the expression of empathy. Empathy involves putting yourself in the other person's shoes and experiencing their emotions as if they were your own. This can be challenging, especially in heated moments, but it is a powerful way to build a compassionate bond. Furthermore, practicing forgiveness is a vital component of compassionate relationships. Forgiveness allows us to let go of anger and resentment, clearing the way for understanding and reconciliation. It is not about condoning hurtful behavior, but about freeing ourselves from the burden of bitterness, thus opening a path to healing and deeper connection. Now, envision the potential changes in your own relationships if compassion were the guiding principle. How would your interactions differ? What new understandings might emerge? How might your relationships deepen and become more fulfilling? As we conclude this part, remember that the practice of compassion in relationships requires consistent effort and intentionality. It involves not only understanding and empathy, but also concrete actions and decisions that reflect this deep understanding.